Evening.
Good evening.
Hey, Tracy.
Hello.
How are you?
Can't see.
Can anybody hear me?
We can hear you, Marvin.
Yes.
Can't right now. I can't see. I can see you all. You're just going to have to look at a blank screen till I get it fixed.
Okay. Well, at least you can hear us. You're a part of the meeting. Thank you.
Mayor, it looks like Connie's the only one you're missing. But you are, it is 6 o'clock. You are recording and you're live. Mayor,
That we're sounding better than you are.
sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Thank you.
Okay, sorry. We're having some technical difficulties here. Well, now it looks like you have everybody. You have all your council members and you are live and you're recording.
Thank you. Why don't we go ahead and call our meeting to order, please? To begin the meeting, we had a great suggestion at our last meeting about the pledge to the flag. It's just been so difficult to do as a group via Zoom. We really lost our ability to hear the pledge. And I thought it was a great suggestion that we have one council member say the pledge with an open mic and the rest of us listen so that we actually can hear the words to the pledge. So if we could stand for a moment of silence, please. If I could ask Mr. Lusby to say the pledge for us this evening.
Are we ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, David. At least through my speaker, it sounded less tortured when we did it that way. Tracy, I'm going to once again assume that this electronic record will suffice as a roll call, since we're all right here. Each of you should have a copy of the minutes of our last regularly scheduled meeting. If you'd like to take a moment to look those over.
I make a motion that we accept.
I have no picture on my face.
Thank you, Marvin. That's a motion. Tammy, was that a second? Thank you. All in favor say aye.
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 And are there any opposed? Minutes are approved. Thank you. In your packet, you should have received the copy of our latest check register. If you could indicate if you received that check register. Thank you.
My hand's up, Mary. You can't see it.
Well, I was actually in the dark there, Marvin. I thought I could see some motion from your way. Thank you. Item 5 on our agenda under public comments. Tracy, do we have any public comments this evening?
No, sir, we do not.
Okay, thank you. Mayor's comments, just very brief. We're seeing both nationally and in Kentucky staggeringly high numbers of COVID positive cases. So just a caution to all of our council and citizens to practice social distancing and wearing a mask, and let's do everything that we can do as citizens to help our businesses stay open and our schools stay open. I think that's part of our responsibility in this. So thank you. And that was my only mayor's comment tonight. Item 7 under on your agenda under dispatch is a municipal order for surplus items.
They can hear me when I push down, but I just can't see.
Motion.
Thank you, Karen. Motion's been made.
Second, Mayor.
Thank you, Marvin. Are there any questions about that surplus list? If not, all in favor say aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Then that carries. Thank you. You arrived on screen just in the right nick of time. Thank you.
Yes. It's a
Item
short
8
agenda.
item 8 on the agenda under finance is our quarterly update. So Stacey, I'll give you that.
Yes. So hopefully, if Andrew will give me permission to share my screen, I will share our revenue report.
Should have it.
Okay. All right. So last meeting, I talked a little bit about how we ended fiscal year 2020, and I'll keep things kind of short and sweet tonight, but I kind of want to let you see how our first quarter revenues for fiscal year 2021 came in. So always our biggest economic indicator and the one we always focus on the
Do that
most
now
because
so we
it
get off the
is
screen.
the largest portion of
Download
our
where I
budget is payroll taxes. Can everybody see it okay? If you can't, let me know, but I should be sharing.
Hey,
So you
Steve,
can see, yes,
quick question. My computer says Zoom 5.0 is here, update now, but I don't see how I can exit out of that. So I can't see the information with this up here. Andrew, you have any suggestions?
What device are you on, David?
Mac computer.
if you are able to access your email, Tracy did email these reports.
Okay, go
right
ahead.
before the
Let
meeting
me play with
started, So
Yeah, go ahead.
you might be able to follow along if you can pull that up. First, our payroll withholding. We have currently for July, August, and September in total received just a little over $3 million. Even though that shows as 30% of our budget, we know we had budgeted quite conservatively for that. So it's probably closer to around 25% or a little less. But as you can see, that we are $164,466 ahead of where we were at this time last year. So that's a good sign. So our payroll revenues are holding steady. And of course, down here, you will see the incentive payments to Toyota, which are a flat $120,000 a month, according to the restructuring of the incentive payments. So if there are no questions about payroll taxes, I will move on to net profits. Okay. This one always looks just a little bit funny. I'll explain a couple of things. Since our last meeting, I have received a copy of the Revenue Commission's audit. That audit always includes that overpayments number that we always end up having to back out of our revenue at the end of the year. I've not had a chance to ask Scott for the detail on that number to verify that everything that's in it is something we count. But according to their audit report, our net profit overpayments at June 30, 2020 were $1,446,000. So this June 2020 number has that backed out. And again, you see, I've kind of carried it over to 2021 just for illustrative purposes. But again, we kind of roll that forward every year and hope that we'll get to recognize that revenue. I'm not sure how optimistic I hope that is for this year with everything going on, but our actual cash receipts for net profits thus far this year are about 91,711. So we ended up ending the year with about 1.5 million, which is about where we'd been the year before. So more remains to be seen about this revenue. Obviously, as we end all the 2020 fiscal years for our businesses and begin receiving tax returns in April of next year, we'll get a better picture. Unfortunately, I know that's a few months down the road, but we have a little while to wait and see how this revenue performs. Insurance premium tax. Don't get worried about this number. I know it's about half of what it normally is. Through today, what had been entered into the accounting system was $343,926. I don't think that we have anything going on with our receipts. I think it's just a delay of when the returns came in versus them being able to get into the accounting system quickly. So I think they're just still working on getting those in. I fully expect this quarter to be as normal as the others. So I can follow up on that with Tracy and let you all know once we get all those returns processed for the July to September quarter.
And Stacy, on insurance premium tax,
Yes.
that process is not apparent to us. We're not.
Yes.
We simply receive what we receive, and
That
that's
is
what
correct.
to expect, but we are not a participant in that process.
No, and the way that we record it in the accounting system is a very slow process. We post every little check to that company. So we don't just get a check, multiple checks for 100,000 and throw them in insurance premium. We have to post every little receipt to the company that it goes with so we can track those payments. So it's quite a time-consuming process. Property taxes is $3,424. Obviously, just a few trickling in at this time of year. Our property taxes, I believe, have gone out or about to go out. So we will start seeing this tick upwards in the next quarter. Obviously, the October to December quarter is our biggest time frame for property taxes. So more to come on that. And lastly, alcoholic beverage regulatory fees. Our July to September quarter is $271,291. It's about $8,900 higher than last year. And we're at exactly 25% of our revenue collected through today. So far revenues are looking pretty good. Again, as we've said for a little while, net profits will be our biggest concern. So we'll keep you as updated on that as we can. That revenue won't come in till later this year. And you also received from Tracy the detailed expense report. And the only thing I wanted to draw your attention to on that, I'm going to share a different screen very quickly just to point something out, is you will now see, once it pops up, you'll now see Fund 13. So in the general fund, which is Fund 10, and then Department 230, which was our old dispatch department, all of that activity has now been moved to Fund 13 so that we can carefully track the 911 fee when it starts coming in and every expense that is related to 911 and dispatch. So all of our revenue from the county, from the state, the 911 fee, everything will be in here along with the expenses. So I just wanted to point that out, that that'll be a new fund and accounts that you had not seen before on your quarterly expense report.
Stacy,
So
you pointing that out, that helps provide the transparency that I know the council was very concerned about in adding that fee.
So that is all that I have for this evening, unless anyone has any questions.
Thank you, Stacy. If you could stick around for the next one as well. It falls under finance as a
Yes.
order approving the bid for asbestos abatement. I assume this is for code activity, Stacy.
This is for our CDBG grant.
Okay.
Our CDBG consultant, Chris Lowry, went out and received quotes from a few asbestos inspection companies. Those inspections will need to be performed prior to any work that would be done on those homes in that area. And I think Devin did the MO for this, but yes, that's what it's for, CDBG.
Motion, Mayor.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
A second.
I heard,
Tammy had it.
I think Tammy might have gotten it just by a nose. If there are no questions, all in favor say aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Thank you. That carries. Item 9 on the agenda is under Human Resources is a resolution concerning council medical benefits. Tracy, would you like to read the resolution?
A resolution revoking City of Georgetown Resolution number 99001, which provided that city council members shall be offered the city insurance plan. Whereas through City of Georgetown's resolution number 99-001, the city council resolved that the city shall include the city council members in its employee insurance plan. The coverage shall include health, dental, and life. All premiums for council members' insurance shall be paid by the member prior to due date for the city's premium payment of the insurance carrier. The dates for council member payments shall be established by the city finance director at such time as is necessary to permit the city to timely pay its monthly premium payment. And whereas resolution number 99001 was passed on January 7th, 1999 at a regularly scheduled city council meeting, and whereas it is the desire of this council to revoke resolution number 99001 and cease the practice of offering the city's insurance plan to council members effective January 1, 2021. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the City of Georgetown that resolution number 99001 is hereby revoked effective January 1, 2021.
Thank you. Is there a motion for approval?
Motion, Mayor.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor, I'll second that motion.
Thank you. Motion's been made and seconded. Any questions or comments from the council? And if not,
Mayor, if I could.
yes, sir. Go right ahead, Todd.
I wanted, I was the one that said I would co-sponsor this. I don't think that I can support it, but because I do take the city's dental insurance and have for years, but I did sponsor it, and I did feel that's something that we at least need to address. So thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor,
Yes, sir, Marvin.
it's not going to affect me, of course, this coming year up, but that's okay. I think it's a bad thing that we do to this council and the council members that's coming forward. If you look across the street, benefits that they've got compared to us is very slim compared to us. We don't have nothing like they do. And I think the health insurance is an incentive to get good council members to go. And I think this is just a mood that should have never been brought up.
Thank you, Marvin. Any other comments? Thank you. And on this issue, I'd ask Tracy to do a roll call. Thank you, Tracy.
Mr. Thompson,
No.
Mrs. Tackett,
No.
Mr. Stone,
No.
Mr. Showalter,
Yes.
Mrs. Tingle Sames,
No.
Mrs. Lesby Mitchell,
No.
Mr. Lesby, you're muted.
No.
Mrs. Singer Erdley,
No.
Thank you. Council's addressed the issue. Mark, thank you for bringing it up. And the next item on our agenda, interestingly enough, is council comments. So what I'd like to do is just kind of go the way you're on my screen again. And I'm not sure how that electronics works. I'll have to ask Andrew before the next meeting. But Karen, right now you're top left.
All right. I'm all good for tonight.
Thank you. Mark?
I'm good, thanks.
Sir. David?
No, sir.
Thank you. Tammy?
All good.
Okay, thanks. Polly?
All good.
Thank you. Todd?
Yes, sir. I've got three things. The first one, did you get anywhere on the air traffic out around Derby Estates?
I don't think it's a regular change in flight path, Todd.
Okay.
We really don't have a good explanation of why planes might be in that particular area.
Okay. And then
It just says, I'm sorry to interrupt, Todd.
yeah, go ahead.
When we talked about it earlier, it seems up here on Broadway, I've just seen more aviation traffic. I don't know if this is a general thing or if there's a flight plan in the area you've been called about.
Okay. It may just be the pilots from out at Marshall Field. So next thing I've got is any idea on when we would start meeting in person again? Have we looked at going to possibly, like we met the other night at Great Crossings, which has a huge auditorium? We would be able to space out enough. Is that something that we're even remotely looking at, or are we still going to stay on Zoom for now?
Todd, we're willing to look at any of those things. The timing right now, the question comes at a time when both nationally and throughout Kentucky, cases are skyrocketing.
Mhm.
I think we're going to get the answer from the statistics, and that's probably going to make the call for it.
Okay.
I do appreciate your concerns and others' concerns about not being able to meet in person. This is difficult. And I hope that these outrageous numbers that Kentucky is experiencing right now can taper off.
Okay, and the last thing I've got is, and I talked with Eddie on this, I'm sure that other council members have got this as well. College Street over by Alumni Gym where the water, I talked with Eddie and he said that the college is working on getting that repaired and taken care of. So it's in the process. So
It is, Todd. That is a situation where I think the college may have had an expectation or a hope that either the water company or the city might make that repair. And we are not. So I think that's caused them to have to do some maneuvering. I think it's definitely going to be repaired, but given this reality, clearly there needs to be some time to figure out exactly how that's funded.
yeah, because I've had several people that called and called me about it, and I actually drove over there to it, and the street is pretty rough over there.
Yes,
So
sir.
that's all I got. Thank you all.
Thank you. Todd, I do know the college has already gotten bids on what that work will cost.
Okay.
And I know there's a process underway at least.
Okay.
Marvin.
Well, after the comments we had just a while ago from Stacy about our budget, which is, I think, considering what we're going through, is pretty daggone good. I don't know whether the plan that you have for the employees, first responders, will be able to come through in the next 4 or 5 months. If so, I think it's very important that we don't forget them. We need to stay on top of that. And this council, you got some good counsel, and I believe they're very dedicated with what they want to do with first responders. And I think that's probably one of the most important things this city can do in the next year, is take care of them so we have good people that will take care of our community. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Marvin. Connie?
I'm good, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anything else to come before the council this evening? If not, thank you very much, and we will stand